y'all, welcome and welcome back to my channel. It's me, Kia Simone, and child, let's get into this Real Housewives of Atlanta. I really don't know what I just watched, but we just gonna try to break this down. Let's just get into it. Before we do, please be sure to like, share, comment, and subscribe if you have not already. And of course, I gotta shout out my super thanksers. Thank you so much to Esther, Harry, Young, Yvette, Greer, and Just Brina. Thank y'all. I really appreciate y'all. Now, let's get into this. Now, if you ask me, this episode was one big commercial for BravoCon because that's what they just kept bringing up. But the episode opens up with Sheree hosting brunch at Chateau Sheree for a few of the ladies. So Sonya gets there first and she's talking about how exciting BravoCon was and, oh, all the fans were running after y'all and oh my God. Then we see Marlo stop by. She brings up how she just got in from the airport. She had to be Muntie of the Year helping her nephew with homework while she was in the airport. It was just, oh my God, it was such a time. Sonya brings up that they had just been talking about BravoCon and Marlo, yeah, did y'all see Mama Joyce at BravoCon? And of course they show us a clip of Mama Joyce at BravoCon talking trash about Todd like she's always been. Why in the consistency Olympics is this relevant? Why do we care? She ain't never liked that man. Now somehow this brunch at Sheree's house between Sheree, Sonya, and Marlo becomes a whole round table discussion of Kandi and all her family's issues. Now, y'all know I'm the first to call Kandi on her bullshit, but why is Kandi the main dish, which is scrambled eggs and mimosas? I don't get it. Marlo is talking about how Kandi needs to stop talking about me, and she needs to talk about and worry about what's going on under her roof. Like, why are y'all under this roof talking about her? Ain't nobody got their own storylines? But according to Marlo in the confessional, Kandi needs to worry about what's going on in her house because the streets are talking and the streets is her mama. So then Sheree goes on to bring up that she was at the fulfillment center for her She Buy. I don't know if she's selling it or not. She said Kenya came by. So she's telling them how she and Kenya were discussing the whole Kenya versus Martell moment. She said she and Kenya discussed that Kenya basically felt like Sheree was taking up for Martell. And Sheree said no, she felt like she was taking up for what's right. And she feels like it's important that her friends respect Martell. She said this man is kind and funny and none of the arrogance or cockiness that I see on TV. I said, now ain't this something? Especially since we just saw her down in Huntsville at Martell's little magazine release party. And what was Martell doing? Everything but acknowledging her. So he don't acknowledge you at his party, but he come to your friend's parties and start shit and embarrass you. And you are over here going back and forth and up and down and round with your friends, but y'all gonna respect my man. And your man won't even acknowledge you. Well, Marlo told Sheree that at first she wasn't all that excited about Martell, but he seems to be showing up and doing everything no one thought he would. Like what, girl? Sheree said, girl, he even picked me up from the airport last night. You know, I do car service. I said, well, ain't the standards in hell? Marlo said, ask Martell to hook me up with someone. Girl, Martell does not hang around in the tax brackets you date in. So then we move on and we see Drew and Ralph go rock climbing. Drew lets us know that because, you know, all the world knows that they have a whole bunch of issues in their marriage, that they've been going to marriage counseling and they've made so much progress. And this date is supposedly about helping them to maintain that progress. Well, if y'all gonna sell us these bullshit storylines, could y'all at least keep y'all business off the shade room and out the TMZ? I mean, this is hard to buy when I know y'all done beat each other down to the courthouse. So they sit down after this rock climbing to discuss how Ralph feels about Drew re-entering her music career. And he said he don't feel no kind of way about it. That was always the plan. Drew brought up that she checked the numbers on the song and that they were around 30,000 streams, and Ralph said that's bad. She said, I thought it was good. He said, I mean, well, it's good for how we did it, but overall, it's not that great. I mean, we didn't do a bunch of marketing or anything. And she said, well, yeah, I'm glad you said that. Because speaking of not doing a whole bunch of marketing and stuff, we put this song together and we were supposed to be this dynamic duo and you just kind of walked off. Well, Ralph must be going to the school of Todd Tucker because he said, listen, I have my hands in a whole lot of things right now and I helped you as much as I can with that song, but I have to focus on my own endeavors, okay? Well, Drew let Ralph know that she really wants his support because she has dreams of being the next BravoCon superstar. I said, girl, if you don't get out of our damn face. So we move on and we go to Kenya's house where she is going all Devil Wears Prada on a graphic designer who's apparently always messing up her orders and requests. And she's cursing and carrying on about it's always something. And why is it in low fucking resolution? That right there is why he be messing up your damn orders. All she knows is she want it done. She want it done right. And she want it done right now. So then we see that she has a FaceTime call with Monyetta. They're talking about what they have coming up. Monyetta is going to somebody's wedding and she has to choreograph a whole dance for the bridesmaids. Kenya has a surprise performance coming up at the Magic City Classic, and she wants to collaborate with Monyetta and have her do some choreography for her girl child. This was a whole bunch of filler conversation. I mean, they talked about nothing. So we move on and we go to the candy factory where I just, what in the hell did Candy have on? It gave Willy Wonka meets Magic City. Just what in the Oompa Loompa After Dark does she have on? Even Don Juan said, wow, this outfit. Candy said, yeah, my husband's back in town. We going to the game. Don Juan said, you gonna sit courtside? And that you want them to win the game, right? I don't know if it was the hair or if it was the shorts or the combination. It was just, I don't know. It was too much. So we run through what is basically a quick Candy ad where they run down everything that she has upcoming in the next few months. Child, we see more of these people planning their lives than actually living their lives. If we go to another damn meeting. Well, at the bottom of this list of all these things Candy has to do is Todd's movie. Candy said that she and Todd decided that she will not be the lead in his movie, but she will participate as an executive producer. And she said she made that decision because she didn't want people to think that they were making the movie just to give her a movie to be the lead in. Don Juan said, well, let me say this. If I'll never ever give you another piece of valuable advice, take this. If you say you're going to be a part of that man's projects, having just as much of an active role as you push him to have in your stuff is going to be very important. And just as Candy is, yeah, I know, Monyetta comes walking in and gets her off the hook. So somehow when Monyetta comes in, the conversation automatically becomes about Candy's play. And she's talking about how the red carpet for her Broadway play was so lit and how it was a dream come true. She and Todd are both executive producers on this play, and how because he has this background in film and television, he's helping her make her way to that EGOT that she wants. Now, Candy, every episode you make this man's points because ain't that pretty much his complaint that he's helping you to achieve your lifelong dreams while his are sitting on the back burner? Now, as far as I understand, I thought Candy and Monyetta were actually personal friends. But this is a whole Bravo marketing conversation because we go from talking about her play to talking about the whole BravoCon experience. Well, tell me all about it. Now, for some reason, Don Juan is sitting here as the narrator. Now, why does Candy have to have her assistant here to tell Monyetta the story of what happened at BravoCon? Like, what are we watching? In real life, if Candy and Monyetta are girlfriends, does Monyetta go to her girlfriend's office or her house and she's sitting down, girl, tell me what went on, and her assistant starts, yeah, let me give you the rundown. So Don Juan is explaining how he expected a weekend of fun, but every time we got on stage, the bullshit. Who is we? Who is we? So, of course, they show us the clips from BravoCon, and Candy and Don Juan are taking turns telling the story about how Mama Joyce still don't like Todd. Like, what is the surprise? Why is this interesting? They ask Candy the same questions they always ask her. What would you do with your money? Who would you trust more to manage your money, Don Juan or your mama? Well, my mama ain't gonna be nice to my husband, so I would trust Don Juan. They asked Mama Joyce what kind of man she would like for her daughter. Well, I'd probably pick anyone that had a decent job. So Candy said she left and she ain't talked to her mama since. And could you please not talk to us about this? I mean, y'all ain't gonna recycle these 10-year-old storylines. Candy said, now, while we are all pretty much used to it, Todd was a little bit irritated this time because it was his daughter that told him about Mama Joyce's comments. We see a clip of Candy talking to Todd on the phone, and he's saying how his daughter sent him a video of Mama Joyce at BravoCon talking trash about him, and he's pretty much over it. So Don Juan and Monyetta are, of course, asking her what everybody asks her, have you ever told your mama about the stuff that she says? Now, she never directly answers that. At least we don't see her directly answer that. But she's saying in the confessional how, for her, It's concerning and upsetting that her mom doesn't seem to understand that one day Ace or Blaze may see this and they're probably gonna feel away. No, it ain't that she don't understand, it's that she don't give a damn. She is the kind of grandmama that'll be in her right mind telling her grandkids, you know your daddy ain't I told your mama not to marry his sorry. Kandi said the bottom line is she really don't care what her mama thinks about her husband. As simple as that. No, at this point, it's profitable to not give a damn, to let her just run amok and this becomes some sub-storyline. So we move on to Ralph and Drew's house where cousin Courtney is coming by. Now y'all playing in our face. Ralph just happened to have a random conversation with this random lady and finds out that she's randomly related to him and now she cousin Courtney. Get out our face. And Drew just as simple. She in the damn confessional about, I have to make a good impression on cousin Courtney. I mean, she's family and Ralph has been talking to her a lot since he met her at Sonya's party. You's a damn fool. Now you know you got for a husband and you entertaining some random cousin Faith he done picked up at this party, girl. Drew and Ralph got so little relationship between them that this whole scene is them interacting with everybody but each other. So first we see Drew on a FaceTime call with Candace. Candace is in her city on tour and she's inviting Drew to come sing at her concert, girl. Drew is so overwhelmed and oh my God, it's such a moment. It's such an opportunity. She can't let Candace down. She really believes in her and this is her big comeback moment. So then we see cousin Courtney arrive and she has a +1, a man. Well, who it is? Well, the man that she came with is her child's father, who's not actually her man and is a former member of the group Groove Theory from back in the day. I said, what in the distraction is this? So you meet this man at a random party, y'all just discover y'all are cousins and you bring your baby daddy as a +1 who ain't really your man to come to these people, girl. Now it just so happens though that Drew knows her child's father. Drew actually co-starred with him in some project so many years ago and oh my God. Now Ralph don't open his mouth to say a mumbling word until they mention that they have a 24-year-old daughter and he said, you got a 24-year-old? She said, yeah, I didn't tell you that. Oh, y'all didn't run through the whole family tree? Well, cousin Courtney explains in the confessional that she and Bryce, her baby daddy, they've dated on and off for 20 years, but now they're just co-parents and great friends. So they decide to take shots to celebrate this invitation to perform that Drew got, and Drew decides that now, in the middle of her dinner party, is the perfect time to start making calls to invite people. Well, the first person that came to her mind was Kandi. So she decides to FaceTime Kandi and say, hey, well, first of all, we're celebrating family. Here's cousin Courtney. Now, why would you call that girl with this in the background? Why would you do that? Kandi said, you call me? What you call me for? Drew said, what? I don't ever want to be messy. Yes, you do. Now, Drew is in the confessional playing dumb about, I'm really taken aback by Candy's reaction to cousin Courtney. I mean, what did I miss? I'm going to tell you what you need to miss. You need to miss us with the bullshit. Because you said to Ralph yourself that you saw on the internet that Kandi and Courtney was about to tear this girl damn party up. So you know there was beef between them. You knew you were being messy. Girl, go to hell. So she tells Kandi all about this upcoming performance. Kandi said, yeah, that sounds real good. I'll be there. Okay, bye. So we move on to the night of Candace's performance and we see all the ladies arriving. We see Kandi and Monyetta, followed by Kenya, Sonya, and then Marlo. Well, when Marlo comes in, she's barely acknowledged by anybody but Sonya. Sonya got up and hugged her. The rest of them just, hey. Now, everybody kind of gave her that half-ass hi, but for some reason, Marlo zeroed in on Kandi. She said she knows that Kandi is still upset with her from the reunion, but she's not shocked. It takes Kandi a while to get over stuff. Now, if she were a man or a chicken wing, Kandi would get over it a lot faster. This is why Kandi don't like you right now. Marlo said, you know, I ain't got time for this bullshit. She gets up and I'm going to the restroom. Well, Sonya took that opportunity to say, let me see what the hell is going on because y'all got me out here looking stupid. I'm the only one talking to the bitch. Is we not talking to her? Now, just last season, you were going reporting the he say, she say to Marlo. Now you want to know if we talking to her? Sonya asked, well, what is the root of the issue? Monyetta said her issue is when they were on vacation last last season and they had that whole clash of the Titans, she saw all the trash that Marlo was talking about her, and she's not a fake bitch. So she don't smile in bitches' faces who be talking shit about her. Well, just then, cousin Courtney and Ralph walked in. Well, cheers the bitches y'all don't like. So they go from one show to the next. They done figured out who ain't talking to who, and now it's time for Candace to perform. And listen, I love Candace, God bless her. But I'm sorry, maybe it's just me, but the whole aesthetic gave, if you put the show on mute, it's gonna look like a Beyonce drag show. You don't look at the show and think, oh, it's Candace Dillard performing. You think it's somebody dressed up as Beyonce. So they get to the point in the show where Candace invites her special guest, Drew, to the stage. So Drew comes up and does a doo-wop pop and left the other pop backstage, because what in the hell? Drew comes on the stage and sings for all of 43 seconds, literally. Candace, why are you playing this lady face like that? Everybody's all excited about Drew has a beautiful voice, and as soon as they get to clapping and cheering, she's walking off the stage and everybody is confused and what just happened? Drew is in the confessional about this moment just gave her life. She could sing all night. She's ready for a tour. Girl, you barely doo-wop pop popped. Candy said, all I know is I would have never invited all these people down here to come see that bullshit. Sonya said, I ran longer to get my damn gold medal than she was on that stage. Sonya ran for 49 seconds and Drew sang for 43. Girl. So the show wraps up and the whole cast of this show goes off into some sidebar where they have this whole question and answer session. Kenya started the questions with Drew. Could you please explain to us why you had such a small woo-woo-woo moment? Girl, you is rude. Drew said, well, because it's her set and, I just came to support my friend. So Kenya tossed the ball to Sonya. She said even Sonya was giving you a standing ovation. Drew said, oh my God, shut up. Sonya said, yes, I really enjoyed the performance. I thought it was great, but we need to talk about what happened on the BravoCon stage. Here we go. Sonya basically felt like she and Drew were making genuine progress and moving forward, but then Drew gets in the spotlights and gets on stages and she pulls out the actress Drew and she's being this fake phony person. Drew said she felt like they were doing good, but then when she put out this merch about she invited me, then uninvited me, that must be when Sonya stopped liking her. Sonya said, no, I stopped liking you when you was flipping your damn hair in my face at the reunion, and this is a bunch of rehashed old bullshit and we don't want it. So they decide to squash their beef, hug it out, and move forward. Good. Please leave us alone. Candy grabs the ball and said, well, Courtney, I heard that you had some things to say to Sonya about me. And Sonya said, yeah, remember when you had told me and Sheree that she brought out the ghetto? Courtney said, yeah. Yeah, I said it. And first of all, I was born in the hood. They said, well, then why would you say that? Well, that's not what I said. What I said is ghetto people started to come, and they did. Courtney said, and I also doubled down that I like ghetto. I love it. My family is hood, and I can show you. We don't want to see. Kenya said, well, let me just say it comes across aggressive. It comes across ignorant. Kenya said she's speaking more to her behavior that, it seems like you're kind of lighting a match and you're kind of doing that rah-rah thing that you do. Candy said the bottom line is whose ever event it was, they should have been happy to have people coming out that support them, period. And I have a wide range of friends and supporters. So Candy is pissed and she's talking about how you should never look down on the places that you come from. And Courtney is, oh, you're so triggered. You're so triggered. Girl, go to hell. Candy said, no, what triggered me is that you don't know me and you running around about I bring the hood out when the bottom line is I bring everybody out. I said, well, you better flex. Candy said, matter of fact, you are the ghetto bitch. Courtney said, really? She said, you just told us. Well, she beat you at your game. So then Sonya asked Monyetta, what's your issue with Marlo? She rehashes the whole thing about when they were all fighting in Jamaica. She saw the commentary from Marlo's confessional where Marlo said, oh, Candy let Monyetta come over here. And she's been bothered about it ever since. This apparently is the first time she's getting the chance to address it or address it on camera. And now we're suffering through it. Monyetta made it very clear she is not interested in or impressed by Marlo. You can get the hell on. So then Drew said, well, Candy, what's going on with Blaze? Because we were at Blaze like 2 days before. Marlo said, before what? Drew said, well, there was an incident. Marlo said, what incident? Drew said it was all over the news. Candy said, they fine. Marlo said, you mean that shooting that happened at Blaze? Candy said, it's a private matter. Marlo said, well, you know what? I'm about to go. Since Kandi get to talk about what she want to talk about and not talk about what she don't want to talk about, I'm about to go. Kandi, so all right, well, how about we talk about when you slashed that girl in her face? Now, Kandi discusses everything that goes on with everybody else on this show. Everybody else is fair game. So why is it that when you have unfavorable activity going on at one of your establishments, that's all of a sudden off limits? And it's not a private matter because it was on the news. It was on media and gossip outlets. So why is it suddenly a private matter when you're on the actual platform where you get paid to share your life? Marlo said in the confessional that everybody likes to bring up my past. They want to bring up my mugshots. I've been to jail. I sliced somebody. But when it comes to Kandi, everybody gets out their little Swiffer broom and they sweep it all right under the rug. And that's the truth. So Drew tries to bring it all back together about this is a night of music and love, and she starts twirling. They all twirl out the door, please. Next thing we know, they cut to 30 minutes after production wrapped. They got footage of Drew and Marlo arguing and going back and forth. Marlo is upset that Drew kept referring to it as the incident rather than the shooting. Now, I'm going to just try to tell you what Marlo said, but I am genuinely confused by what she's actually upset about. Now, she's saying that she's basically triggered in this moment because they're tiptoeing around what to call this incident. She's triggered because she lost a nephew to gun violence. And so she's upset that Drew won't call the incident a shooting. Drew is trying to explain to Marlo that she understands how she feels because she's lost family members the same way. And because she's gone through that experience, she didn't want to make a big moment about that. But for some reason, Marlo thinks Drew is full of shit. Girl. Marlo goes on to explain in the confessional that what she's upset about is that she has a nephew that used to work for Kandi who was killed by his roommate. Now, while this is very unfortunate, and I'm very sorry to hear that that happened to her nephew, he was not working for Kandi at the time. They show us the transcript of the text messages, and Marlo is asking Kandi, do you know him by first and last name? Kandi mentions that, yeah, someone did work at my restaurant by that name, but they don't work there anymore. And she's informing Kandi, and she's upset because she feels like Kandi didn't give it the level of acknowledgement she felt like Kandi should have given it. Now, they showed this unaired footage from some years ago where Marlo is telling Kandi what happened, and she's trying to tell us that Kandi had absolutely no concern, but I mean, Kandi looked as concerned as you could expect her to be in the moment. I don't understand what she wanted from Kandi. And the episode comes to an end with Marlo grabbing Drew's hand about feel my heart, are you acting? And she's screaming about her nephew is dead, bitch. Drew said, what the just happened, girl? I don't know. But that's it, that's all, and I ain't got no more. Thank you so much for coming down here listening to me and let me get this off my chest. Please be sure to like, share, comment, and subscribe if you have not already. And in the meantime, until next time, just like every time, I love you and I mean it. Bye.